Hey guys, so today's a bit of a different video where I'll be doing a walk around of the 2020 Dodge Charger SRT Hellcat Widebody Daytona, as well as talking about all the specs and details of the car. I've talked about this car a few times here and there, like in a previous Mopar News episode, but I've never done a video on just the car alone. It's one of my favorite cars out there at the moment, so I wanted to look at it more in depth, as you guys know that I like to do on this channel. So this will be a review, walk around of the car inside and out, and comparison to what other performance sedans you can buy on the market for the same price point. So let's get started. So this Daytona is a limited edition version that commemorates the 50th anniversary of the original Charger Daytona models. The original was created in 1969 with just 501 units, with the goal to qualify for NASCAR racing. The previous limited edition 1969 Dodge Charger 500 had failed in NASCAR, and the NASCAR driver Richard Petty had left Plymouth for Ford. The Daytona Charger was there to get Dodge back on track. So this Daytona is directly based on Dodge's heritage, as they said in their press release for it, quote, "The new Charger Daytona 50th Anniversary Edition builds on this celebrated history by adding more performance to North America's only four-door muscle sedan." End quote. And of course the Daytona has been around over the years, as it was out from 2006 to 2009 in various colors and quantities, made its return for 2013, and then it was just a package option for the RTs and the 392s from 2017 through 2019. This car is based on the Hellcat Widebody, so it's going to get the same features as well. So that includes the extra 3.5 inches of wider wheels and tires, those being 20 by 11 inch rims with 305/35 R20 tires, a Bilstein 3-mode adaptive damping suspension, and electronic power steering. The suspension is improved, with 32% stiffer front springs than the 2019 Hellcat, bigger sway bars up by 2mm in the front and 3mm in the rear, and retuned shocks. With SRT drive modes, you can select between street, sport, and track modes, or anything in between. And as for the other performance upgrades, the widebody also gets race cooldown, line lock, launch control, and launch assist, and you'll see those features described on screen if you want to learn more. As for the production of this car, it's a very limited production run, with just 501 vehicles, just like the 1969 Daytona. Unfortunately, the Daytona in total is already down to 500, with a crash and a robbery. Back in February, some photos online were posted showing a brand new white Daytona that had crashed with only 296 miles on it. The crash looks nasty with a crumpled hood, front fascia ripped off, and both the airbags deploying. Copart was selling this wrecked car in California. As for the robbery, this took place at a Ford dealership in Iowa, also in February 2020. The thieves broke in by smashing a back window in the service department, finding the two keys, and then driving the cars off the showroom floor. They took 4 cars in total, a 2020 Ford Mustang GT Premium, 2 used Dodge Challenger RT Scat Packs, and a brand new 2020 Daytona in black, number 321 of 501. Moving on to the exterior, this car is available in just 4 paint colors, B5 Blue, Pitch Black, Triple Nickel, and White Knuckle. For 2020, the only way to get B5 Blue is with a Daytona model, so it's not available on any other Charger. You also get the Daytona rear quarter decal, deck lid, spoiler, and different color Hellcat badge. On the B5 Blue, Pitch Black, and the Triple Nickel, the Daytona decal, spoiler, and Hellcat badge are going to be white. But on the White Knuckle version, the Daytona decal and spoiler are blue, while the Hellcat badge gets a bright finish. The car that I've mostly been showing obviously has been in the B5 Blue color, but I'll show you some other shots of the black, gray, and white as well. To me though, the B5 Blue definitely looks the best by far out of these 4 options. You may notice that the wheels are also unique to this car, as they are 20 by 11 inch warp seed design with a satin carbon finish. And beneath the wheels are black Brembo calipers, with 6 pistons in the front and 4 pistons in the rear. Moving on inside, the sedan gets some upgrades as well. The seats are your typical Daytona heated and ventilated Napa leather and Alcantara suede, finished in black with blue accent stitching, and the word Daytona embroidered in the back of the seat. And they're also 12-way power adjustable. The blue accent stitching will continue throughout the center console armrest, the door panels, dashboard, and shifter as well. The headliner is made from Dynamica suede, the instrument panel is finished in real carbon fiber, and there are light black chrome console bezels and interior accents. The flat bottom steering wheel has some of those accents and is finished in suede, while the premium velour floor mats have a blue dual stitched accent border. and this particular steering wheel and the floor mats are only available on this Daytona model. The final interior detail will be an awesome looking Hellcat and Daytona badge on the passenger side dashboard, and that tells you which number you have out of 501. As for performance, for a few years the base Challenger Hellcat got a little bit of an upgrade with 717 horsepower, but the Charger never got that same treatment, and many were wondering if or when it would get that same bump. The current 2019 Charger Hellcat has 707 horsepower, so that's 10 less. But finally, this Daytona will get that bump of 10 horsepower up to 717, while having the same amount of torque at 650 pound-feet. That's all from the 6.2-liter Supercharged V8 Hemi engine, and apparently the bump in horsepower is just from Dodge increasing the shift points to 6100 RPM in automatic mode. So the US MSRP was $74,140, and the Canadian MSRP was $88,490. So that's an extra $4,495 for US, and $5,000 for Canada over what a regular 2020 Charger Hellcat Widebody would cost you. Unfortunately, due to the absolutely crazy demand for these cars and the very limited production, dealerships across the US were charging heavy premiums on the cars, adding what they called a market adjustment for between $25,000 to $40,000 over asking price. So some of these prices ended up between $100,000 to $114,000, and even today there are still a few Daytonas for sale for roughly $105,000. We saw basically the same thing happen to the Dodge Demons as well. The Canadian market is a little better, but there's still some going closer to $100,000, which is around a $10,000 markup there. So that'll bring us to the final part of the video, where I want to look at if these Hellcat Daytonas are really worth what they're going for. Now, just for fun, I wanted to take a look at all the various competitors to the Dodge Charger in this price range. To keep things relatively reasonable, I've limited the competition to large sedans that have a starting MSRP in the $80,000 to $90,000 range, because that is literally an alternative to buying this Charger Hellcat Daytona with the markups. I know the Charger is typically not compared to some of these expensive luxury sedans, like Porsche, Mercedes, or even BMW, but I thought it would be fun to do that with the marked up Daytona Hellcat. I'll talk a bit about each of these sedans in order of their price, quickly going over some metrics like performance, styling, and the interior, and then I'll show a price and performance comparison chart as a summary at the end. So the first model in this little comparison is going to be the 2020 Genesis G90 5.0 Ultimate All-Wheel Drive. This executive sedan starts at $78,200 and comes with a 5-liter V8 that makes 420 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. The G90 maxes out at 155 miles per hour while having a 0 to 60 time of 5.2 seconds and a quarter mile time of 13.8 seconds. This Genesis offers up a handful of features, like a 22-way smart driver's seat that automatically puts you in the most ergonomic position for your posture, and an 8-way adjustable rear seat. As for some of the materials used in the cabin, there's matte wood, brown leather, and a suede headliner. Next up is the mean-looking 2020 Lexus GSF rear-wheel drive, coming in at $84,670. This GSF is getting a little bit old, pretty much unchanged since 2016. It's got a 5-liter naturally aspirated V8 and an 8-speed automatic, and that gives it an output of 467 horsepower and 389 pound-feet of torque. That means 0 to 60 in 4.5 seconds, the quarter mile in 12.9 seconds, and a top speed of 168 miles per hour. The interior is more focused on performance as well, but still it's not cheap, with most of the surfaces covered in leather, faux suede, or carbon fiber. The 2020 Audi S7 Prestige cost $89,500 and has a twin turbocharged 2.9-liter V6 paired with an 8-speed automatic with 444 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque. It does 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds and the quarter mile in 12.5 seconds, so it is slower than the Daytona, and it also has a top speed of 155 miles per hour. It's got great style, all-wheel drive, and a lot of incredible features, like a heads-up display, soft closed doors, dual-pane acoustic glass, quilted leather seats, 4-zone automatic climate control, 16 Bang & Olufsen speakers, and a ridiculous air quality system with ionizers and fragrance dispensers. Hitting into this price range also means that we get to talk about the 2020 BMW 7 Series 740i xDrive sedan, and that one starts at $89,800. This car nets you a 3-liter BMW twin-power turbo inline 6-cylinder with 335 horsepower and 331 pound-feet of torque, and an 8-speed automatic with all-wheel drive. That means 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds, and the quarter mile in 13.4 seconds, with a top speed of 130 miles per hour. Obviously, the sedan is a little better known for its luxury and new technology, so it's got things like a voice-controlled infotainment system that responds to Hey BMW, and an extended traffic jam assistant that will take the wheel in speeds under 37 miles per hour. Now, as the prices hit over $90,000, you can also get yourself into a Porsche sedan in this price range. The 2020 Panamera 4 is the base model, costing $91,800, and it's powered by a 330 horsepower, 330 pound-feet of torque, turbocharged 3-liter V6. This sedan is capable of 0 to 60 in 5.2 seconds, the quarter mile in 13.8 seconds, and it can max out at 162 miles per hour. Of course, the performance is not the top priority here, and the standard list of features is long, with different amenities such as ventilated seats, soft closed doors, 4-zone automatic climate control, a power-operated rear sunshade, and 18-way adjustable seats. Also in this sub-$100,000 price range is the Mercedes-Benz S450 model with a tag of $94,250. This S450 is a 3-liter bi-turbo V6 paired with a 9-speed automatic transmission, and this setup packs 362 horsepower and 369 pound-feet of torque to the rear wheels. The car can get to 60 miles per hour in about 5.4 seconds and do the quarter mile in 13.9 seconds while having a top speed of 130 miles per hour. Of course, this S-Class cabin is known for being extremely luxurious and spacious, and buyers can choose from a plethora of leathers, woods, and stitching accents for the seats, door panels, and dashboards, and also even choose from different massage functions for the front and rear seats. There's also an integrated air perfume system in the climate control, among many other things. One sedan that comes really close to the Daytona's performance is the $94,690 Cadillac CT6V, a very limited production sedan for 2020. This has the 4.2-liter Blackwing V8 twin-turbo engine with 550 horsepower, 640 pound-feet of torque, and a 10-speed automatic transmission. 0 to 60 happens in just 3.8 seconds, with a 12.2-second quarter-mile time and a governed top speed of 149 miles per hour. The result is a really nice-looking sedan that packs a hell of a lot of performance under the hood, but at that price point, it doesn't really compare to the other offerings luxury-wise. Another option as we move up the chart is the $96,800 2020 Audi A6 L60, which is an executive sedan with convenience and technological innovations. Along with the 4-liter turbocharged V8, some standard features include an adjustable air suspension and driver-adjustable adaptive dampers. With 453 horsepower and 487 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 happens in 4.5 seconds with a 13.2-second quarter mile, and the top speed here is governed to 130 miles per hour. The final sedan on this list will be the 2020 Tesla Model S Performance All-Wheel Drive, starting just $10 shy of $100,000. This blows everything out of the water performance-wise on this list, matching up better actually with the Dodge Demon. When it's in ludicrous mode, it has a 0 to 60 acceleration of just 2.3 seconds, quarter mile in 10.5 seconds, and can top out at 163 miles per hour. These 2020 performance versions also have a 348-mile range on a single charge. Technology fans will love the giant infotainment screen that controls almost every vehicle function, but the interior really can't compare to the other vehicles on this list, starting with the relatively uncomfortable seats and lower quality materials used. So here's a few charts just summarizing the information about all the sedans that we went over, with the Daytona highlighted in orange. So it's got the most horsepower and torque out of the bunch, the biggest V8 engine, and it's also faster than everything on the list, other than the Tesla of course. So even with its marked up price tag, it is a solid buy if all you're looking for is performance and looks, but the interior won't compare to much else luxury-wise on the list. And of course another consideration is that you can just get a regular wide-body Hellcat for around $70,000 US. So that's the end of this video, guys. Do you think the Daytona Hellcat is worth it, or would you rather have a different sedan on the list for that price? Let me know down in the comments section below. Thanks for watching, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.